Hi, and welcome to Stamp with Jini. Today I'm going to share with you how I made this simple one-layer card using the Greatest Journey dies, masking, and our blending brushes. So let me set this aside and I'll show you how I got started. I'm going to start this project with my blending brushes to add color to my basic white cardstock. I have this scored at the 4 1/4 inch mark, and I am going to fold this in half with my bone folder so that I'm just working on the front of my card. Once I have that done, I can open it back up if I want and put a mask across the line, or I can leave it closed like this. I'm next going to bring in the mask that I created with the mountain die from the Greatest Journey dies, and I am going to bring this in. Let's see, I'm going to flip it over up here. I'm going to bring it down like so, and I want that this way because that gives me this edge. I'm going to pick up some of my ink color with my blending brush. Now I happen to be using Cajun Craze because I want this to have a look of redstone. I'm making this card for my aunt who does a lot of hiking in Arizona and the surrounding areas, and this makes me think of that portion of the country. I'm going to bring this one over and add it at an angle here. Pick up some more ink and add some more color. There we go. And then I can pick this up and actually turn it this way in order to create a different look. Let's see, right here in the center. And I'm going to put that color on the top side here of that die cut edge. And then I'm going to flip it over and add the mask here in the corner and repeat that top edge again. I'm going to be adding the color here darker, and I'm going to do that one more time right here, picking up color and then blending that edge. And what I'm doing is creating a look of the red rock on my card front here. At this point, I can take my blending brush and just add a touch of color to this white negative space to create a soft look. And one more line here, I'm going to pick up some more and add a nice dark edge to this. Now, you can play with this as much as you'd like, and of course, you can add additional layers as you please, simply by moving that mask and hitting that edge and softly filling in the area. Let's see, I'm going to add a little more color to this just to give it a softer look. So there you go. I've got my red rock done, and I can move on to my sky. I'm going to bring in these clouds, and let's see, I'm going to put this large one in the center here. I'm going to put this one over here. I think I'll put this small one right here. And at this point, I'm going to pick up my mini brush and pick up some of the balmy blue. Starting off, I'm going to simply swirl around these clouds. I'm not going to add a ton of color because I want this to be soft above that red rock. And when I remove these clouds, I'm going to have a defined outline of where they are with this soft sky. I'm going to pick up some more, add it to the edges to bring that color in. Do it again. And I'm actually going to bring a little bit of that down around my red rock. Now I picked up a little bit of the color off of my grid paper, so be careful when you're doing that. You want to start with a clean area when you're marking off. I've got my clouds here, and I'm going to pull off my sticky note masks. Okay, I'm ready to stamp my sentiment, and I'm going to bring this in and ink it up, stamp it in the center of my basic white cardstock, and use my Label Me Lovely punch to punch it out. I just love that our cardstock is thick enough that we can stamp on both sides and it not be a problem. I'm going to be placing this right down here in the corner of my card. But first, I'm going to add some of this pumpkin pie twine. I'm going to wrap it around my card front twice. Let's see, I think I'm going to do it 3 times. And I'm going to tie this into a little bow. Now I've wrapped it around the inside of my card because that allows me to move my twine as desired. So let's see, I'm thinking I'm ready to trim that off the bolt. There we go. And once again, I said my sentiment is going to go on this side. So I'm going to slide this over simply by bowing the card front and sliding it over to the left. At that point, I can spread it back out and make it the way I would like it to look. And fix my bow a little bit here. There we go. And I've got this where I want it now. I'm going to move these little twines a little farther apart. I'd like more of a crisscross look here in the center, so I'm going to spread those out a little more. And once again, see if I'm happy. And I think that's pretty good. So I am going to add some Stampin' Dimensionals to the back. Remove the Stampin' Dimensional backings. And slide this in right next to the bow. I just love the look of this card. I think that the red rocks are beautiful, and it reminds me of my aunt and our trip to the Yellowstone and the Petrified Forest and all that when I was younger. So I've got that ready to go. I can trim the ends of my twine a little bit more if I need to. And then I'm going to bring in my Take Your Pick tool and these lovely solid faceted gems. Now they come in multiple colors here, but I'm going to use the Balmy Blue for this, just to add a little bit of shimmer and texture right next to the sentiment here. Let's see, I'm going to put one here, and I think I'm actually going to add a large one right here next to the bow. There we go. A quick and simple card that looks like you did a lot to it, but it really is just simple blending and masking with our Greatest Journey bundle of products. I hope you've enjoyed this project, and of course, if you'd like any of these products, feel free to stop by my online store. You can get there from my blog, Stamp with Jini. Thanks for joining me.